Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 1, Under Locks and Keys. When we last left off, the party successfully retrieved the next in the set of keys, Moscow's Mask, an artifact of the Unseelie Court, and their contribution to the Divine Council's show of diplomatic peace. Successfully retrieving it from the inventory of a merchant by the name of Klavak, who was trapped on the island of Suicide Hollow, occupied by cursed pirate treasure, and Paul's former adventuring comrade, Captain Red, and his odd stomach parasite. Leaving the cursed island behind them for the time being, the party returned to their home base in Tortage, and Avaben, with your friends and loved ones with you, there was no particularly immediate hurry to go home this time around. So, as per the norm, you all rest and recoup before setting about your own personal tasks. Sorry, unless you wish to do something different. You assist Anna in her research on the next key.
There's one itty-bitty tiny baby thing I would like to do.
Well, what is the teeny tiny itty-bitty little baby thing you'd like to do?
I'm going to make a permanent teleportation circle near the lavatory. If I can talk.
Okay. Noted. Alright, draw a 10-foot ground with sigils. Link your location to a permanent teleportation whose sigil sequence you know. Okay. Now bear in mind that this will not be permanent unless you cast it for the year-long requirement.
Well, it's temporarily permanent, right?
It lasts for a round, unless you know the sigil. Basically, you need to either know the sigil already or create a new one, but that takes a year of prep.
So how long will the teleportation circle last then?
If you do the full year, it lasts forever. But if you just do it temporarily, it lasts for one round, so 6 seconds.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind. I won't do it until we're ready to fucking leave.
All right.
I don't have a year.
You practice your magic, you study with your roomie, and the rest of the party attends to their personal business. Greylog, initially you focus on looking over the Hella Good Tavern, where you periodically see the other party members. Paul, of course, looks after you as you continue to train yourself, hoping to get eventually to that magical point where you will be able to revive Paul's father. And Avaben, along with their loved ones, occasionally flicks in and out, acting as a sort of silent bouncer for your tavern, chasing off anyone who comes to hound you for protection money or other such inanities. And it keeps your patrons and staff both relieved that they do not have to tend to such stressors themselves. But eventually, you and Paul both have business in Suicide Hollow. And while Anna and Asari are making good progress, it doesn't take particularly long to get there and back. So, at most it'll just delay your next trip by a couple weeks.
Well, I can get there instantly.
Teleport, right?
Transport via plants.
Oh, very true.
That's why I was going to ask him.
Okay. In that case, as Avaben watches over the tavern, doing his usual job as unofficial bouncer, Paul, you approach Greylog.
My time to eat. I guess I will, approach Greylog and... I wish to talk to you, Greylock.
What can I do for you?
Well, I was thinking about this. Also, I need to audio stuff here because you're quiet and Matt's loud.
It could also be that I'm doing some self-repair on my headphones because they break.
Either way, you were quiet and Matt was loud, so. Well, I was thinking about this. Honestly, I felt a little. Kind of felt ashamed of myself that it took so long to come to this decision, but I wish to go back to the island.
What for?
I would like to have a little chat with the ghost.
Oh, a little chat. A little chat.
Which ghost are you talking about here?
I mean, as far as I know, there was only one. But, I mean, the one that is cursed on the island, or I guess less on the island, more on the money, but... If there's any other ghost, I would like to hear it.
Well, I can definitely get you there. I can only cast it once per day, but I can definitely get us there.
I mean, there should be some.
See.
Well,
I could always cast it at a higher level.
But if not, then we can always. I guess there is a shelter there, so.
Well, I can get us there, so yeah. I'm game.
I appreciate this.
Alright. Oh, and for my reference, Greylog, do you or Paul have the ability, this is downtime, so as long as you have the material costs, you can just knock that off and consider it done, to cure the color blindness that was inflicted on 2 party members?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have the what I think it was like diamond powder or whatever.
Well, do you have the?
But I have the funds to buy that and then cure them. Yes.
Yeah. So yes. Go basically knock off the funds to cast that twice, and you're good to go.
How much? It's like the diamond powder worth 100 gold or something.
Let me double check.
I think greater restoration. Where is it? There it is. Yep, 100 gold.
All right. So yeah, just knock off 200 gold, and we'll call it fair.
Done.
Greylog, obviously taking the time to continue your research that you promised to Paul's family, and also I'm getting a little bit of echo on your mic. You might need to turn me down a bit. And buying some adamantine powder with which you can cure the blindness you accidentally inflicted on your allies.
We have partial blindness.
You and Paul agree on a time and set off from Tortage through the jungle wilderness to Suicide Hollow, leaving Asari and Avaben alone on Tortage for the time being. When you reemerge on Suicide Hollow, taking a moment to get your bearings, you know the location well enough, and as far as you know, it's cleared of all threats. The only difference you find at a glance is that you do find some of the Britannians have actually set up a small encampment there. You recognize a few of them as some of the pirate hunting crew that sailed with Bowman. You'll need to ask them if you want to know why they're here and what they're doing here, but other than that, the only other change you notice is that all of the webbing seems to have disappeared. So no more webbing, but there is a Britannian camp. Basically, they just took up residence in Clavoc's encampment and seems like they're just staying there now.
Oh.
That's interesting. Yeah, I definitely want to go check on that real quick.
Okay.
Just to see what they're up to.
Did he go with them?
Yeah,
Well-
Grayling and Paul both went.
Okay.
All right. The two of you emerging from the trees. You, again, take a little bit to get your bearings before entering the encampment and finding many familiar Britannian faces wandering around, collecting lumber, harvesting, hunting, living simple but, altogether not unpleasant lives. And they greet you warmly as you approach. While you do not know them by name, you do recognize one of the sailors that approaches you, a red-headed human man with a somewhat kind of puggish face, hair tied back in a very tiny ponytail, wearing a somewhat dirty Britannian uniform as he approaches you and extends a hand to shake both of yours. Hello again. Wasn't expecting to see any of you again so soon. Leave something behind, did you?
Not entirely. Paul wanted to come back and do something. I'm not entirely sure. He said he wants to speak to the ghosts. Or something along those lines.
Yes.
Well, if there's going to be any more ghost shenanigans, kindly leave me and these folks out of it.
I'm just curious, what are y'all here for?
Yeah, well, after staying here with your crew on the island for a while, turns out it's not so bad. And, well, Bowman said we were welcome to return back to brave Britannia with her, but me and the boys talked about it, and, well, we like it here. It's simple. Don't have to worry about taxes or any of that complicated stuff. Just, hunt, make sure you have something to eat, make sure you can bathe in the river. Simple needs for simple men. It's not so bad, and mine's right off the coast if we need to get to the mainland, so we just thought we'd stick around here.
Can I insight this?
Roll insight.
Like, I can believe it, but...
You want to be sure, that's fair.
Yes. Yeah. 14.
He seems like he's being honest. Seems like they just got a taste for the simple life while living here and decided they didn't want to leave. And again, if they wanted to leave, they can just take a quick fucking rowboat to the mainland.
Yeah, fair enough.
But, well, if you need any supplies, you helped us out. Least we can do is help you out. Ain't much, but it's home.
Well, well, I know you wish to be out of the business, but at least do you know any info about this ghost?
Spirit of the Raider, you mean?
If that is what he's called.
Oh, the Crimson Raider, they called him. It's a bit of an old ghost story now these days, but, well, I don't know much, aside from what anyone else does. Old member of the Pirate Brethren, he was, but brutal as they come. They say that whenever he died, stabbed on one of the Frisian docks by a young thief, they say that, well, certainly wasn't good enough for the heavens and wasn't bad enough, well, should I say, too bad for the other place. Even Hades didn't want him. Said that if he was gonna
take over.
said that if he was ever gonna be accepted into Tartarus with the rest of his ilk, the only way that was gonna happen is if he did enough good to get his soul out of the deepest pits. And, well, that's how the curse got started. They say it gets bigger with every failed attempt.
Yeah.
But that's about all I know. You'll want to talk to somebody who's got a bit more of an ear for stories if you want more than that.
Yes. Well, I do have one way to get him, but hopefully it doesn't involve too much. But
Well, yeah. I'm assuming you've not gotten any weaker since I last saw you. Just be careful. Spirits are a whole different type of ballpark than, well, whatever it was that was wrong with your friend.
well, no, I have not gotten weaker. But like I said, I don't plan on fighting it. So I just wish to talk to it, and I know that one way would be, yes, in a sense, anger it, but yeah, just for the purpose to talk to it.
But at that
Your,
point, would it listen?
Yeah,
your
that's what I
funeral, mate.
worry. Well,
Well, if you hear anything, you know what happened.
He kind of nervously looks to his comrades and, well, we got the heavy artillery, I guess.
well, by the sounds of it, that won't really help you much if it's after you, but as long as you keep away from the money, then you should be safe.
Aye, aye. And, oh, I will say real quick, just because I noticed this while looking on D&D Beyond, Paul and Avaben, you got some level ups you haven't applied on your character sheets yet.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you're level 16 now. So, yeah, just make sure you, mostly wanted to ask, especially for Paul's benefit, since you might be making some rolls soon. Didn't want you to get cheaped out of a roll you might have actually succeeded.
Yeah, I did ask you something that might be important to that.
Level up.
Yeah, I
And-
sent
Yeah. I'll get to that when I can. In the meantime, Paul and Greylog, the camp is a good a place as any to chill for a bit. Beyond that,
Actually,
what else do you want to do?
This could be helpful for what I'm about to do. Level up.
Yeah,
He's just following Paul for now, since he's going to be heading to the same spot as he is anyways.
Yeah.
The sounds of it.
Yeah, I mean, Paul's probably going to mainly head towards the mountains. It seems like that's where, at least that's where he knows where there's money is.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see.
And while we're walking, I'd also like to keep an eye out for, oh, where are they? You know, the...
Spirits.
Yeah, the nature spirits who were watching you.
Yes, that.
Mm-hmm. Noted. Roll perception.
Could do this.
26.
Noted. Anything from you, Paul, or are you just heading to the mountain?
I will. I mean, he's just gonna head to the mountain for now.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, helping out with some level up stuff as well.
Yeah, I get it.
I took 4 levels. That means the most I can get to is level 16.
Paul, Greylog, nodding to each other, you set out into the jungle and make your way to the mountain. As mentioned, the webbing has all disappeared, making your path a little harder to find, but Greylog, you keep a weather eye for any unseen observers. At the very least for now, as far as you know, you are not being followed. But your keen eyes do help you guys stay on the right track of what would otherwise be a much harder path to find. You head in between the statues, into the mountain, and follow along the ship graveyard, through the fungal path. Luckily, the booby traps have still all been expended, so you don't run into any extra trouble. And quicker than you'd expect, or perhaps too soon for your liking, depending on your perspective, you find yourself back aboard the abandoned ship. Now cleansed of all of its webbings, it feels far more isolated, especially knowing what is likely the only thing left that resides here. The two of you stand on deck, surrounded by treasure that none can take. What do you wish to do?
Mentioned before there were like spirits around.
Yes, you have not seen them come this deep into the mountain, but on the pathways through here, yes, you periodically will see the ember-like spirits of those who were, even in death, so haunted by their greed and lust for this mysterious treasure that even in death they cannot stop searching for it, although they never come any closer to finding it.
Yeah. So I'd like to just start picking up some gold, put it in my hands.
Okay.
And I'm just going to sit down and meditate amongst all the treasure.
Treasure.
With only pure thoughts of nothing for greed at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That is not sarcasm.
In a startling display for both of you, Greylog, you sit amongst the coins, cross your legs, close your eyes, and with a deep breath, you focus your mind. This treasure does not belong to you. It is not yours to take and not yours to spend. Paul, on the other hand, you pick up a small handful of coins and you wait. The moment the coins have been in your hand for about a minute, this rumble echoes through the chamber. Paul, over your head, you see a whirling storm cloud begin to take form, lightning surging through it, as if a thunderstorm is beginning to take form even within the mountain.
He will stand strong. And just in case it's necessary with that level up, I thought I did, but I guess it didn't save it or something. I cannot, or I'm constantly under the effects of protection of good and evil. I think I can't be possessed, right, or something.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to ignore it.
You hear the sound of surging water. The boat rocks harshly. There's another crash of thunder. As a surge in the waves reveals a hulking figure rising from the tides. The spirit of the Crimson Raider. This giant of a man rises from the water before you, Paul. At a glance, as he rises from the water, the tides bending to his feet to support his weight, you see he's easily 20 feet tall. And the storm surging above both of your heads now crackles and roars. Rain is not pouring yet, but you can see it's threatening to. You see a 20-foot tall man in green captain's garb, very similar to what Brother Ares had been wearing during your time in the tournament. A green coat with red trimmings, red boots, and a belt, presumably a bandolier for pistols. No shirt, however, revealing a broad, muscular, hairy chest.
Obviously.
A curly red beard and hair underneath a black bicorn with a skull and crossbones, an eye patch over the left eye, and a gold-hilted cutlass in a sheath over his back.
As he kind of...
Gory.
Yeah. I was wondering what his name was. I'm like, I don't even know his name yet. As he kind of reveals himself and all that, Paul will hold out the money and simply drop it in front of him.
He stares as you drop the coins and gives initially a somewhat satisfied looking smirk before the expression kind of neutralizes again, almost like he's piecing things together for himself. And Greylog, even through your eyes closed meditation, the hairs on the back of your neck stand as you can hear this of his cutlass being drawn from its sheath, having grown with the man to still be wielded. And this massive blade levels itself down at you, Paul, who is suddenly feeling much smaller. He's not attacking you yet, but he is threatening you. He scowls as his beady, dark eyes narrow to contemplate you as he levels his massive blade at you.
Paul will give a sigh and give a little just heavy breath as he'll put his chest to his, or put his arm to his chest and bend on one knee.
The giant frowns and takes a step back in the tide, seeming like he's not really sure exactly what to make of you. A lot of signals that he's not sure how to interpret.
I guess I will finally say, I wish to help you, if that is possible. If you're willing to speak to me.
He gives a low growl. He keeps his blade to hand, but he lowers it. But he does not speak to you. But given that he's lowered the blade, he appears to be listening.
Well, I do still have many questions about this curse, stuff that I wish to know to hopefully avoid future complications, but I'm willing, but from what I do now, all that is required is simply an ungreedy heart and simple name. One at least I feel as though I have, and the other can be changed.
You can see the giant's eyes widen before they narrow again. Less hostilely this time and more just suspicious. He takes a few hulking steps towards the ship, places his massive hands on the railing and looks over you, the smell of blood and rum washing over you as he looks you over much closer now. The steel of the blade tapping against your side as he investigates you.
I will let him do so.
He looks to Greylog, and then back to you, and makes a kind of snorting sound. Eyes continue to dart between the two of you suspiciously.
Well, I told myself I was going to do this, and what is his name again?
Alfred Gory.
Alfred Gory. As he kind of looks at him in the eyes, with still his hand to his chest, and I guess I do hope people will understand what I have to do here, but as he'll proudly present, I hereby announce that my name is now, and for at least the foreseeable future, will be Alfred Gory.
This gives the giant pause. He kind of looks up and furrows his brow. You almost get the impression like he himself is like, would that work? Does that count?
Yeah, that's hopefully.
I almost like this guy.
Almost.
Eventually, he looks down at you again, and still considering you and your companion and his options in general. Paul, this is both a question for the giant, as the one beholden to the curse, but also a question for me, because this is the sort of thing that it is one thing to call yourself something, and it is another thing to actually become it. Are you simply going to give your name to others as Alfred Gory? Do you intend to go through a process to make your name actually change to that, or would you be willing to, as you do know there are wizards in Tordage you can hire, would you be willing to see someone about casting ceremony to have your name in the eyes of the gods changed to Alfred Gory? You can do any or all, but I just need to know which ones you're willing and intending to do.
He was merely going to just simply address himself as Al Gore, as far as, and if anyone who knows him as Paul, he will correct him as that. But he is also willing to go through the other ceremonies. He's willing to go the extra mile to officially change his name if need be.
There's a long moment of silence as the giant considers you. Roll persuasion.
It's just like
Good luck.
you're meditating. You can do this.
I can hear still.
I know. It's just like
He just mutters under his breath that you got this, Paul. Well, I guess he'll use his new name actually.
Also, I just realized allegory.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You said persuasion.
Yes.
I mean, I'm okay with persuasion-ish, not fully, but you know, it's
Hit
something.
add a D4, by the way, if
Okay.
Matthew's okay with it.
Not saying yes or no, so
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'll allow that.
cool. Got a 17 with a 4, so 21.
There's silence for a moment, and the giant begins to sink back into the sea, and the storm clouds above you begin to thin and lift.
Ooh.
But as his sinking puts him at about eye level with you as he's getting deeper into the water, he holds a hand out to you and gestures to the deck where there are many coins, but you can see the ones he's specifically gesturing to are silvers. Due to the nature of his curse, he cannot commune in the traditional sense.
Okay.
But given the circumstances, and I know you'd be willing to work with him for longer if you needed to make communication clearer. 25 gold for an official ceremony that makes your name his in the eyes of the gods. He's willing to take a chance on you, but he is not willing to chance that the demons will not take it as a loophole that your name was not actually his. Whether society acknowledges it as your name, he's indifferent to. What matters to him is that the gods cannot deny that you are his namesake. Are you willing to give up 25 gold for a casting of ceremony when you return to Tortage?
Well,
He
I-
doesn't have any gold, right?
yeah, unless I could find some of the gold I had from before, because I am broke. But I am willing to spend money to change my name if need be, if I have money.
Well, I will say he was gesturing to the coins on the deck.
So he's offering me for me to spend. I'm guessing the coins on the deck aren't actually his, so he doesn't care for it just taken. Because otherwise, because they're still technically my gold. I just don't know which one's my gold.
And remember, all the duplicates went away anyway.
Yeah.
So just find the loose piles that are in the general vicinity of where you were standing before.
Yeah.
Well, that would have been inside the actual captain's quarters.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you can always go get them. So, yeah, so that is something you're willing to do?
That is something I'm willing to do.
Okay. He sinks beneath the water, and the weather clears. Before, with a splash, as you count out the money for a casting of ceremony, he lifts out of the water, standing back up to his full height, a treasure chest. And sets it in front of you. And lifting the lid open, you can see hundreds of odd-looking coins. They appear on the old side, not a mintage or material you recognize.
Mm-hmm.
But as you look it over, he draws his cutlass again and holds the blade heavy over your head and lets out this low growl that makes the whole deck smell of seawater. One final threat of what awaits should you fail him. Before he withdraws his blade and sinks beneath the water. Paul, you may add 882 Electrum coins to your inventory.
Oh my god!
Electrum.
What'd you say? 800 what?
882 Electrum coins.
882 Electrum? Okay. Is it the same value as what that is?
That remains to be seen.
It's half a gold.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what
one
it shows.
electrum is 5 silver.
Yeah, so it's half a gold. We just don't know.
Yeah, as mentioned in our other campaigns, I'm basically using Electrum as a stand-in for any not traditionally used currency in the trade of the realm. You have not been anywhere that uses the coins you're looking at in trade.
Yeah. Oh, who knows how much this is worth?
At the very least, you know it was enough to corrupt everyone who tried to do what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
That means once you find out its real value, you're either going to convert it or.
At that point, if you're converting it, the gold just.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying, like, if...
Yeah, you have to like put in the count, but So this is his treasure, the treasure chest.
Yes, he keeps it sealed beneath the waves. While technically all of the treasure of the mountain that was not brought there by Red does belong to him, this chest is the burden he must rid himself of.
Interesting. So it doesn't have to do with all of it, just this one chest.
Basically, yeah, he's connected to all of the treasure, hence why you were warned to not touch any of it if you could avoid it. But if you can spend all of the contents of this chest without getting corrupted by greed and selfish intent, his curse will be lifted, and he will be allowed to join his crew in the afterlife.
Oh, so you may need to learn the value of these coins.
Yeah, we have people who have people for that. I guess seeing that, I guess I need money to keep this money. Well, I can just keep it on me. I guess it'd be good. We're good.
Yeah, you don't need to bring the chest with you. You're allowed to just carry the coins themselves. It's just you must resist the temptation at any turn to spend it on yourself or your own betterment.
Mm-hmm. Should be good.
I would like to pass him my bag of holding,
The whole
just so
money.
he has a way to, carry all the coin without you having to take the chest.
Okay.
Considering his coin pouch exploded.
Yeah, fair point.
Yeah, I already
I
have.
wonder where I'll have to go to buy a new coin pouch.
True,
With
yeah.
what coin?
Yeah.
If you don't have
Oh,
a
the
coin
tragedy.
pouch, what coin do you use to buy a new one?
And if
I don't know.
you have the coin to buy a coin pouch, where do you keep the coins?
Maybe the 882 Electrum that was just gotten. Not silver to buy somewhere to keep it.
Yeah. I mean. I mean, if you're sure about giving me this, I mean, I guess I could.
What What is the key
Yep.
mean?
I can get another one later.
Well, I mean, if we're willing to search and risk it, but well, there's still the money that me and Sorry dropped in the quarters.
Well, at this point, you're allowed to take whatever you want, as long as it doesn't corrupt you.
Well, from what I understand, I'm not allowed to use the money for my own benefit, so prefer not to risk it. But if you wish to, you feel as though there are some safe coins, some stuff that is guaranteed not to be ours, or it's, then
I already did that a while back, but I'm good.
all right.
Okay.
And I guess he will, because he's already passed him the bag of holding for him to do with as he wishes.
I'm gonna put the money in the bag and hold it.
All right.
And then
Paul?
whenever he's ready to go, I will cast transport via plants for him. Because the Greylog plants stay behind for a while.
Okay.
Has it been a day yet?
Well, I can cast it at a higher
Yeah.
level.
Yeah,
You
you
could
just
upcast.
upcast it, so.
Oh, okay.
All right. Alfred, you empty the contents of the treasure chest into the bag of holding, seal it shut, and place it on your belt, ready to alleviate the suffering soul's burden by any means. Greylog,
Mhm.
intending to relieve your own, you stay to meditate among the treasure of Suicide Hollow, watched over by the spirit of the Crimson Raider. And we'll come back to you.
Yeah. How do I spell my name?
I'll send it to you in text. In the meanwhile,
Wonder what he's an allegory for.
Avaben,
Yes.
while you keep a watch over the Helligood Tavern in your free time along with your companions, eventually Greylog and Paul leave on business. All they tell the rest of you is that they have business in Suicide Hollow, Paul intending to relieve the suffering of the cursed spirit. Greylog did not say what his intentions were. But that leaves you with nothing but free time. So while you periodically check in on the tavern to make sure no one's harassing the staff while the owner is away, you, for the most part, simply content yourself with exploration. And with that said, you
Did I roll
familiarize.
something for it?
Yeah, sure. Roll investigation. See if you find anything interessant.
Okay, I rolled a 13.
Okay. Vaben, you and your companions, while initially sticking to the areas of foliage that you know and are comfortable in, you eventually begin to branch out a little bit, interested in seeing more of the town that you've been calling home for over a year now, yet have only seen like 2 parts of it.
Yeah, like, we have not explored at all.
You initially stick to the central area, the markets, bazaars, the Hangman's Square, but eventually you and your companions begin orbiting a little into the east side, the territory of the Thieves Guild, who, true to their word, do leave you alone with their prior toll already paid. And while you do get some stares, you're allowed to explore freely. This side of town you see is mostly simple working class people, either making a living for themselves or stealing from those that are making a living for themselves. Fishermen, cargo workers, sailors from the docks who need a place to stay. This is the sort of lower residential area of Tortage. And while you do not find much that immediately grabs your attention, as I said, it's mostly just sort of the residential district, you do start taking notes of the general orbit of the Thieves Guild. What more starts to get your attention is when you and your group start trying to make your way west. None of you have ever, other than very, very brief errands, been to the west side of Tortage before. And when you attempt to make your way there, you're actually barred from entry at first by what is the first anything resembling a guard that you've encountered in this place.
If it was just
However,
like, you're a rare breed in this town.
figure you see is a tall, intimidating woman with dark hair with white streaks running through it, shaded makeup over the eyes, concealing gleaming blue beneath. Skin is pale but covered in scars, arms on display and muscular, wearing only furs on the torso and legs.
It's like the kind of woman that Lucian would be into.
Yes. She kind of glares down at you for a moment, but eventually speaks in a husky rasp of a voice as your companions look on cautiously, like they're not sure if a fight's about to break out. I've seen you before. You're one of the travelers.
Possibly.
Do you have business with the compans?
No, not in particular. I was just kind of taking a walk around town.
She looks you up and down, and seeming to not sense any ill intent, she gives a light sniff before stepping aside, leaning against the alley. And you notice for the first time that on the other side of the alley, within her arm's reach, if she just lunged over and grabbed it from where she had been standing while examining you, is a wicked-looking halberd. But she simply stands aside and gives you a nod. In that case, go on in. Enjoy yourself. And she busies herself with a small toy in her hands, seeming kind of bored as she allows you and your companions by.
As they get like out of earshot of me, was just gonna say, I almost feel like they were disappointed that we weren't causing trouble.
Probably, but I didn't even know they had guards in this town.
Yeah, that's what I said.
What? Ollie sounds like they're about to say something, but suddenly falls silent. And as you follow her gaze, you quickly see why. You guys have been mostly living in central Tortage, which is kind of middle class by Tortage standards. Mostly gravitating to that and the jungles, which are, of course, just wilderness. And then you've visited the territory of the Thieves Guild, which is mostly the lower class slums where people are forced to live if they cannot afford anything better. Avaven, you are the first of the party, again, other than very brief errand runs, to set your sights on the west side of town, the territory of the Campan family. And it's beautiful. Music courses through the streets, actual music, not tavern music, like real performances by actual bards who were sober, probably.
Oh, come on, we all know how bards are.
True. You see, most immediately within your line of sight, a large, ritzy-looking hotel. To your left, you see what appears to be a casino. Several shops and stalls that, unlike the kind of ruddy, improvised market stalls in the central Tortage, these are like actual storefronts with, you know, signs and windows that aren't broken and nothing's on fire. and you can see that this part of town is the highest up on the ashy mountains that surround the coastal cliffside where the docks are built, which, if you go out to the furthest reaches of this part of town, gives you a beautiful view of the surrounding sea. This place is nice. Pleasant, even.
Fabian's just like, we're certainly not in the forest anymore.
I can't believe this is the same town where you guys almost got robbed on your first day.
Yeah, I'm wondering what we've been doing in the other parts of town.
And you get a glimpse of Dolly dragging a wagon through the streets, and she gives you a smile and a wave as she passes by.
Well, it's good to see some things never change.
Well, if they're letting her here, I guess that means they'll let just about anyone in. Although I wonder who's with the Campan family. If they're sitting on this much money, I guess it's probably anyone who's got empty pockets.
Yeah. Might be interesting to know more about these people. They seem like they might, they have this kind of money that could mean they could be a problem or they could not be. You know how the powerful are, they sometimes like to throw their weight around. Just like in Britannia.
Didn't your Alrone friend, Anna, didn't she say that the Campan family might be useful to us sometime? I know last time we were looking short on money, they were at least considered as an option.
Maybe. Let's maybe keep doing a little look around and maybe we can see if we can't arrange some kind of meeting to get to know something about this guy. Do a little scouting.
You can see you all kind of he gets his thinking face on, and you can practically already see him like doing sketches in his mind of who to talk to, what to do. This is fundamentally politics, even if it's illicit ones.
In this town, in this island, illicit politics are politics.
You all kind of gives a... Well, I doubt that just anyone here especially is going to tell us where to find him, let alone how to organize a meeting. If they need to have guards posted up to keep anyone who has a grudge against him from making their way to this side of town at all, I think it's more likely we'd get that sort of information from their enemies.
But if there's anything I've learned about humans, is whenever they have someone at the top, they always like to be in the biggest building.
He kind of gives a smirk and gestures between the two of you. Who said he had to be human?
That's fair.
You
But
know
still,
what you know what that girl is, don't you?
wait, who are you talking about?
Ollie.
That guard, big lady.
Oh. Oh.
Oh. No, I didn't, honestly. I don't pay enough attention.
Half god.
Well, that's interesting. So, I wonder how powerful someone must be to be able to have those as your bodyguards
Not even a bodyguard, a bouncer.
for a whole section of the city.
From the looks of those muscles and that weapon, she could probably do it. He gets a mischievous smile on his face that Ollie mirrors. Let's have a look around. I'm interested in meeting this guy now.
I think I am similarly interested.
Have they been roll investigation, and given that your friends are assisting you, I'll give you advantage.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that earlier, but I kind of forgot.
Well, before you were just kind of vaguely wandering, so it was more just whatever happened to catch your eye. They're unfamiliar with the place too. But here you're working with somebody who knows how to track and somebody who knows how to wheedle information out of people.
I got a 17. Out of curiosity, does either of Avapen's friends have a better investigation modifier than him?
What's your investigation modifier?
+0.
Let me double check. Actually, I have their stats. I just don't pulled up right in front of me, so I need to pull them back up.
I mean, I believe NPC stats are slightly different from player stats.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, but yes, both of them have a better investigation modifier than you.
Maybe you should be letting them take the lead at that.
Hey, you're the player character.
Yeah, I rolled a 17.
All right. The
Since
three
I'm
of you-
basically having to go off my flat rolls here.
The three of you begin to explore the west side of Tordage, familiarizing yourself with the area, and indeed, it is something of a special area. You can see that among the attractions you find here, several places are barred off to you and require either paid entry or permission from the Dawn, but you're able to get a good bead on what's immediately in this area, as well as casinos and hotels and other forms of money making. You can see there's some more surprising things. A charity building that you can see people are flocking around, and by your best guess, although you'll have to go investigate to see if there's any more details, as far as you can tell, it seems like they're just kind of randomly giving money out to people. No seeming rhyme or reason to why. You notice, built on the highest part of the mountain that overlooks the sea, a port for the Brethren of the Coast's airships to land. It appears he's doing business with the pirates, if nothing else. There are, of course, back alleys, although they are not as grimy and chalk outliney as the other ones in Dordage. You search around, careful with who you ask. You all is very cautious with asking the sort of questions you want to ask to anyone, as you never know who's reporting back to the Dawn. But eventually, kind of curiously passing the question to a chef working in a much nicer diner than any place you've gotten to eat recently.
My god, they're freaking like soup kitchens are probably nicer than where we've been eating.
Yeah. Given that the inn you stayed at before Greylog built his had a leaky roof that Paul had to use his bucket to patch, yeah. The chef does let slip whenever you all kind of offhandedly ask the question of, you know, the Don seems like such a nice guy. Where would one find him so I can thank him? Well, that's the thing. We don't really see much of him. I mean, his family comes out periodically, and his kids like to wander around here and there. I hear they hit up the docks every so often, but I think there's only 4 people in this town that knows where the Don goes in his private time beyond his family. That'd be the Don himself, and the other bosses in Tordage. I don't know if it's respect or an intimidation thing, but that's how the rumor goes anyway. I hear the leader of the Thieves Guild always has a bead on where the Dawn is. But if that doesn't work, you can always find one of his kids and pass word through them, extend your thanks.
Sounds like we may have to consider that option.
The chef kind of gives a somewhat dismissive, but still otherwise neutral nod. The other two kind of glance to you. Curious if you wish to investigate any further, but not seeming to push the matter. And you all kind of mentions offhandedly. Must be a pretty private guy if people only ever see their kids.
Yeah. Maybe this is the kind of person you don't really see unless you ask to see him first. So I guess if we're gonna see him, we need to find one of his family or something. See if one of them can pass word along or something.
Maybe we can ask those sailor friends of yours if they've seen them. If they frequent the docks, well, they're the only people I think of that either of us know that would have seen them.
Worth a shot.
Making your way down to the docks, you see, as per the norm, the breaker crew is, a few of them are still lingering around here, including the Swabby, who gives you, kind of raises a tankard to you, seeming to have grabbed a drink from the Hella Good Tavern and made his exit back to the docks to hang out with the Wood Elf Lookout, the two of them quietly chatting and, of course, greeting you as you arrive. Hey, man! Found the next key already?
Not quite. We're doing a little bit of local investigating.
Oh, getting involved in some underground stuff, huh? Well, I have the expertise to tell you what you need to know.
Well, we went to the nice part of town. I think you know which one I'm talking about.
The west side. Capan's territory.
Well, we've heard some things about their leader, and we thought maybe it might be beneficial for our group to be able to make some kind of, establish some kind of connection, you know what I mean?
Smart. But, I'm sure we're not the first ones to tell you. He's a hard man to find.
Yeah, me and my companions here heard that, well, he is a very hard man to find. Some of his relatives are a bit more out and about, and I was wondering if maybe they could pass messages along that we would like to talk. Have you seen any of them?
Yeah, I sure did. They came with us on our last voyage.
You mean, as in for the what are they called again? Artifacts?
Yeah. Or
You
just
mean for the-
keys.
You mean for the key?
Aye. Captain hired a few hands once he figured out where it was we were going. Had to make sure we could handle the, well, whatever the hollow threw at us. And among them were a few of the low-ranked goons of the family, and the Dawn's son.
Which one was he? I didn't realize this.
He kind of gives a bit of a shrug, and your hands were pretty tied at the time. Although you can see the Swabby looks just as confused and kind of tilts his head to the elf, who just shrugs. My job to see everything, mate. He kind of scratches at the side of his head and goes by Billiard. And if my eyes don't deceive, he's got some, well, something or other going on with one of the underlings. Two of them were getting real cozy during the voyage, if you know what I mean.
Oh. I think I have an idea. Kinda,
Yeah,
like, playfully jabbing you all.
who kind of rolls his eyes, but the elf just smirks, revealing his canines, and I thought you might. Not sure exactly where they made their way to afterwards, but he kind of scratches the side of his head, and as I recall it, though, I don't know if they were on board when we made our way back.
Oh
Wait.
my goodness.
Do you mean they're on the island still?
Might be. Of course, probably not in too much trouble. Otherwise, the Dawn would be throwing a big ass temper tantrum. Would be able to see from oceans away.
So how can we know where they are then?
At this, he finally gives a bit of a shrug, and that friend of yours seems like he can get wherever he wants to be pretty quick. Consult with him and see what he can give you.
he's not here at the moment.
He kind of gives a shrug and, well, you'll see him again at some point once Flower Girl figures out where the next thing is. Ask him what he can give you then. And, called his name from the roster. You're looking for Billiard.
Maybe we'll see if he is back here, just to be sure. Or see if we can't find anyone else. But it seems like if he's regularly offering services, then it probably wouldn't be too hard to just, people probably just assume we're looking to hire him if we ask around.
Not a bad call, mate. And, she didn't come along with us, but he's got a sister as well, Francesca. Try looking for her if you don't have any luck finding Bill.
What does she do?
What don't they do? They have a little bit of hand in everything that goes on around here. Politics, stealing, beatings in alleyways. You name it, they've probably got their hands in it somewhere.
So I guess similarly, if we're asking around, people just assume we're looking to pay for some services.
Aye. Just, be careful who you direct those questions to, mate. They're not stupid, and even if you're not looking for them to put a bullet in their back, they don't got any reason to trust you.
Of course. But, again, my opinions here seem to, at least this one, again, nudging you all, he has a pretty good sense of the people to ask. He knows these kinds of things.
The elf kind of gives you all a nod, who returns it. Well, then you two watch each other's backs. If I see a friend, I'll let him know you're looking for Bill and see what he can find, or at least tell him to look for you.
Very well.
If I may ask, you hoping to get a favor out of the Dawn, or you just looking to satisfy a little bit of curiosity?
It's a little bit of curiosity, but also I figured having a dialogue with some leadership on this island wouldn't be a bad thing in case we ever need a favor.
Fair dinkum. Well, watch your back out there, mate. George is a dangerous place. Even more dangerous if you're looking to get involved with the Dons.
Oh, I'm sure we'll manage. I mean, hell, people said we weren't going to come back from that island, and yet here we are.
Got me there, mate. You return to your search. In the meanwhile, Alfred, Greylog.
I'll be right back.
Go ahead. Any particular disruptions to your current plans? Just Greylog, you said you're planning to just meditate and try to purge the greed from your heart. Any change to that, or are you content to just do as you are until called back to Tortage?
Just pretty much do that. Like he
Okay.
might every now and then go back to the tavern just to check up on it, make sure it's doing well, make sure he pays his dues when needed.
Yeah, I was going to say, for the time this downtime is going to take and the time you were away on your trip, 456 gold on paying the staff and maintenance.
Is there no profits yet?
Yes, as for profits, give me just a second. In the meanwhile, while I'm running the numbers on that, I just want to make sure you had any relevant deductions as well. Paul, or should I say Alfred, what would you like to do once you have the treasure in hand and are free to return?
Well, I mean, he's mainly gonna try to think about ways to try to spend this money without, of course, being selfish. He just wished to. His main thought process he came up with was, I guess he could try to give the our dear doctors a new home, but he still needs to, I guess, figure out how old these coins are, and are they gold? Like what kind of coating do they have?
Okay. In that case,
I'm back. What I miss?
Nothing.
we were just working out the profits and costs of the tavern, and Alfred is going to look into the coins to see what he can learn about, like, basically why they're so old and unusual. And I'll say this is a bit of an interesting question. So, Alfred, I'll say roll investigation if you want to just like maybe contact somebody and see what they can tell you, or I'll let you roll history if you want to see what you know on your own.
So history or investigation?
Essentially, yes.
Doesn't matter. I guess I'll try to figure out myself. See what I
Alright,
can figure out.
Roll history.
14.
Okay. This is a very unusual coin. Now, looking over it, it does have a gold coating. So, you imagine flat value, its value would at least be comparable to a traditional gold coin, maybe a little bit more so if you found somebody who considers it valuable vis-a-vis its age. You know that this specific type of coin is known as a Duke's coin. Supposedly, it comes from a foreign archipelago, a wide island-spanning duchy. And the coins it produced are ancient. Supposedly, if the legends you've heard of this ancient island chain are true, while there are people like you and I living there, a lot of the inhabitants are dragons. As a result, the coins they mint are considered incredibly precious to them. After all, a dragon loves their coinage and their gold. Assuming you're in the right ballpark and you're looking at the right kind of coin here, Alfred Gorey somehow managed to get his hands on a chest of nearly 1,000 Duke coins, which, if you could find somebody who understands how valuable these are, or really even just convince people that these are authentic dragon coins, these things would be very valuable, even on an individual level. Even a single coin could probably fetch a pretty price of 100 or several hundred coins if you sold it to, say, a wizard who needs it for alchemy.
Quite interesting.
I do my best.
Well, but they look gold. That could be really old gold. Alright. He'll keep that, to himself and just kinda go back, I guess, see what the party's up to, what they're doing.
Okay. Alfred, realizing the value of what you hold, for now, the greed stays in the shadows if it's present at all. You simply stow it back in your bag of holding and prepare to return to Tortage, leaving Greylog to his meditation for the time being. I just realized, by the way, I love how in both campaigns we have a party member, the tank of the team, suddenly change their name midway through the campaign.
Oh wow!
Like, that just clicked with me, and I was just...
It would have been even funnier.
One wasn't willing.
Great,
It was a complete accident.
Oh, it's not a question of willing or unwilling, it's a question of...
The fact
If
that
I
happened.
had an... Yeah, well, what's that Doofenshmirtz thing? If I had a...
If I had a if I had a nickel for it's hard. It's a hard voice to do, but if I had a nickel for every time that the tank of a D&D party changed their name midway through a campaign to the great confusion of everyone else, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
It never happened twice.
And Greylog, as your tavern grows in notoriety, you pay your staff well, they in turn keep it well stocked, it's upgraded, and of course you have the other establishments you've established, the shop and the other such affairs. I've already deducted the cost of maintenance. Did you already deduct the cost of maintenance yourself, or?
I
Okay.
did.
So in that case, your profits over the previous. Let me double check your how exactly long it's been. Your total over the following several weeks, it's about a month in total, is 4,104 gold.
Wow.
You made some money.
The Hella Good Tavern is beginning to show profit.
But of course, that could wind up drawing attention of the unscrupulous in the area.
Very true.
And then I do also want to say about selling the extra staff that he got. The only one he wants to really keep, of course, is the druid one, but also the gold staff.
Yeah, basically out of the ones you got from the pirate treasure.
Yeah, he only wants to keep the gold staff. The others he wants to get rid of.
Okay.
So he's going to sell them in his little shop.
Okie dokie. In that case, I will give you those as well. In the meantime, sorry. Normally, your investigations with Anna are fairly uneventful. Interesting, of course, to a scholarly mind, but not full of the investigative inquisitiveness of searching for the daughter/son of a mafia boss, or the spiritual significance of lifting a curse, changing your name, or meditating on your greed. But the one thing you normally thanked the gods for was that it was typically fairly straightforward. The compass that Blue Moon gave you always points you in the right direction. You and Anna simply do some mathematical work to figure out based on where it's pointing over the course of days at a time, giving it follow-up questions to narrow the search, researching rumors and contacts in the area to eventually discover a lead on where the next key may be. But this is the first time that Anna and you begin to doubt the compass's functionality.
Interesting. Does it only work if somebody's holding it, or?
Somebody needs to hold it when they initially ask to point it somewhere, but then they can set it down and get bearings on a map. But it will not point anywhere else for the rest of the day. And because all you have to go around is this island, it's, again, you and Anna have to get a little creative. Like, oh, if I was standing here, which direction would I need to go? And then the compass will point a slightly different way, and then, again, mathematically deduce where you need to go accordingly. This is why it often takes weeks or months at a time for you guys to find the next key.
They can ask one question a day, and they have a lot of questions to ask.
Bear in mind, the first question Anna usually has to ask is, what side of the planet from here is it on? Which hemisphere do we start? But
it doesn't seem to be pointing in the right direction, or is it, or it just like mathematically doesn't like add up, or?
Whenever you try to get a location from it this time, initially Anna starts with the basic questions. Which side of the planet is it on? You narrow it down. Which direction from here? Narrow it down. But it's in the ensuing days following that it starts to get strange. Anna and you tackle this problem for days, but eventually can only arrive at one conclusion. The compass isn't working. Because every time you try to ask for more information, it simply points to this island. But
Well, I mean, the only logical explanation is it's got to be somewhere here, then.
you know that can't be the case. This is an island full of professional treasure hunters. How could there be a treasure here that nobody's found yet? Even the city, which we thought was this great discovery, there was already people living down there when we got there.
I
There's
mean,
no-
that's exactly the point, though, is like, because we may not know of a place, or maybe some other, maybe the people who live here don't know that this place exists where it's at.
I just have a hard time believing that anyone on this island would be nice enough to know where something that valuable is and not use it themselves.
Well, maybe
Oh
well,
my god.
here's the thing. I don't think it has anything to do with smarts. I think maybe it has all to do with maybe the level of protection or the level of, it being actually hidden.
She kind of shakes her head and looks down at your map where she's X'd out several locations in frustration as the problem grew more and more difficult. But eventually, she picks up the compass and gets a mischievous grin on her face. Actually, I have an idea.
Oh.
Now, it's a bit of a long shot, but this thing is clearly able to at least adapt in real time. We've not necessarily seen if it can do predictive measures.
You think that maybe it's moving? The item is moving?
Well, maybe. What I'm thinking, because I don't know, I just can't shake the feeling there's something we're missing. But wherever it is, whoever has it, if we don't get it, the Boomergangers are gonna get it. Which means it's not gonna stay on this island for very long. They're probably already looking for it if they haven't found it already. So, she places the compass on her map, pen in hand, and places a hand over the compass, closes her eyes. Where will the key be in a month? The arrow shakes, spins, and finally, after weeks of frustratingly being stuck, changes direction.
Oh my god, holy shit.
I knew it!
Holy shit!
Alright. So, wherever it is, it's gonna be leaving the island soon. But, we can figure out where it's going to be and beat it.
Yes, I kind of caught on to that a while back ago, but I think that's brilliant. And I take her head and like kiss her forehead.
I'm gonna choose to accept your mean words as a compliment. And she gives you a smile.
Oh, you know I love you. Okay, can we figure out where it's going to be? Where is it pointing?
Alright, we're gonna have to narrow it down. Let's get to cracking.
All right. Mouth. Here
Oh
we
my
go.
god. I so wish Avaven was there, but he had other business.
Like Anna and Asara usually give you guys the info once they've actually got the answer. So you'll find out soon.
Because she said someone nice enough to not use it, and I was like, there's literally someone on this island just giving money away for free.
Well, they don't know that.
Avaben, make me another investigation check.
Do I get advantage because my companions are helping me?
I'm gonna have to say no on this one because because bear in mind, Ewell's persuasive, but he's not. Oh, I'm just gonna tell you where the daughter of the fucking Godfather is right now. Persuasive. You're gonna have to rely on your own detective skills to figure that one out.
I mean, wouldn't they be helping with that?
Yes, but basically, I'm treating it as a combined effort. AKA, just because you have an NPC with you doesn't mean you get advantage every roll.
The problem is if Aben sucks at investigation.
Well, them's the breaks.
I suck at history. But
Yeah.
I got a 16. I'm literally relying on my dice being nice to me, and I'm waiting for them to stop being nice.
yeah.
Avaben, other than the occasional frustrated update from Anna that they're not making much progress, you simply busy yourself with your own little mystery to solve.
Wait. Did they tell him?
No,
Do they tell?
that was when they weren't making progress. This is before they had that realization and started progressing.
Down.
But after cracking on it for about a week or so, it's, again, a hard thing to get a lead on. Nobody's going to happily sell out the daughter of the Godfather, and you have not demonstrated a willingness to negotiate with the Don's enemies to get that information.
Well, I mean, because like that wouldn't be a very good look, now would it?
I didn't say it was a bad idea, I just said you weren't willing to do it. But fortune favors the curious, it seems. During your searches, you eventually, while visiting the docks again to ask your sailor friends if they've seen her, or Billiard for that matter, you see someone that you haven't seen at the docks before. Or, if she has been here, you simply haven't paid her significant mind. A young girl. Brilliant, shining, silvery hair. Matching eyes beneath. Her gaze is coated in laugh lines from someone who smiles all the day. Her clothing is weirdly a mixture of elaborate yet humble. The sort of garment a merchant would wear. There's the furs to preserve against the cold, but the silk to bring comfort in the heat. The colors, however, are rather mundane. Simple, black and red, with the occasional white beneath. Definitely someone who dresses well. The sleeves are flared, and you can see little bits of jewelry here and there, but again, nothing ostentatious. And you kind of take a glance around. This is not a place where you wear jewelry openly and don't get it stolen. Yet, everyone seems to be giving her kind of a respectful wide berth. Like they're not willing to approach her even to pickpocket her. She, for her part, isn't doing anything to intimidate them. As you watch, she literally just picks up rocks and skips stones into the ocean, humming a sort of tuneless song to herself. She seems just kind of happy to be here. Everyone else, for their part, is keeping their distance.
Vaven's gonna look to you on Ollie. I think we know who that is.
Ballsy. Going into the territory of an enemy gang and throwing rocks into the sea. I like her.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Nobody seems to want to mess with her, so obviously.
So, what now?
Well, I can't imagine there'd be any harm in striking up some casual conversation.
They kind of glance to each other, but give you a nod. We'll be right behind you. But if she tries to, like, shank you or pick your pockets or something, I'm throwing her over the end of the ocean. Dawn be damned.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Alright, let's go. Maybe we'll kind of just casually walk by and just give a kind of polite, "Hi, hello there, young lady."
She glances to you, and you're used to strange looks given your heritage and profession, but it's very rare to get the look you're given now. It's the same one your parents often give you, and you all and Ollie. A smile completely devoid of any kind of judgment. Simply a respectful acknowledgement that you are both people in this world. She smiles and pauses in her rock skipping and puts her hands together as she lets the rocks fall into a loose pile next to her. Her slightly flared dress dragging in the filthy dock behind her. Well, hello there. Her voice instantly relaxes you. And you can see Ollie's posture visibly kind of slump and slouch as she seems to almost like she's resisting falling over. I don't think I've seen you around that much before, but, well, if it's not too rude to say, you are pretty distinct. I think I know who you are.
We're just some travelers that have been making a bit of a stay here. And
So I've heard. Welcome to my daddy's town.
And judging by how much of a wide berth some of these thieves and the like are giving you, I think I can guess who your daddy might be.
I don't really know what the big deal is. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Some people just like to be better safe than sorry.
That's what my daddy always says. But it's nice to meet you. My name is Francesca Campan.
My name is Abeba Naglaka.
Ooh, fancy. That's Perusian, isn't it?
That is correct. And these are my compatriots, you all and Ollie.
They both give respectful bows to the Empress of the Campan family, and she simply smiles kindly. There's no need to be formal with me. I wanted to thank you, actually. You took my brother with you on one of your little trips. And, well, I hear that he made it out of that safe and sound, so I suppose I have to thank you for keeping him safe. He always has a head for getting into trouble. I was worried whenever he said he wanted to go traveling with you, but Daddy said it was okay, and Daddy makes the rules.
Yeah. Well, it was an interesting choice that he wanted to go to a place that literally had suicide in the name.
Him and his little boyfriend have always been so adventurous, just like you and yours.
It would seem. Do you come down to the docks to skip rocks very often?
Periodically. Not just to skip rocks, though. You meet all sorts of interesting people in this town. I met this funny little talking doll the other day.
Oh, I know them. Just be careful, some of the stuff they sell is maybe a little more priced than normal.
Money's no object to me, sweetheart.
Judging by your side of town, I could see why.
She gives you a wink and playfully sticks her tongue out. You ever want to win a card game or get yourself a night in a nice hotel? You know who to call, Sweet Pea.
I may consider it, but the thing I'm mostly looking for is your father seems like a good guy, and considering we've been staying here for a while, I figured it'd be good to get to know some of the people around here, in case they ever need our services, or we ever, or.
Oh, that's so nice. Daddy's been wanting to meet you guys for a long time, too. He meant to do it a long time ago, but, well, you guys tend to kind of come and go.
Yes, we've been in a hurry at times, but I think things could be a little easier going for a little bit. And it is long overdue to make some introductions.
I suppose so. Well, if you're ever on the west side and want to meet my dad, and she kind of pauses. I don't know if I'm supposed to be telling you that.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be quite alright. We won't be telling anybody anything. At least nobody who probably doesn't already know from what I've heard.
Roll persuasion.
Persuasion. Can I persuade people? Let's find out. Well, I'm not awful at persuading people. I got a... what is that? 16.
She considers for a moment before giving a nod. Well, I guess if it's you, it's okay. But just be careful who you tell, okay? You start telling all the sailors around here, then everyone's gonna want to talk to Daddy, and he's never gonna get anything done.
I understand.
I'm sure you know how it feels to be popular.
Oh, I'm sure. I promise I won't be spreading it around.
Okay, if you want to have a meeting with Daddy, here's what you do. Pay attention, okay? I'm not going to be able to tell you again. Next to the casino, there's a little general store. Out of the way place. No lights, doesn't stand out that much. Go in there, and you're going to meet this super pretty girl that works there. And she's going to have this cute little bow on her head. And she starts kind of rattling off the girl's fashion before seeming to realize that she's getting off topic and
Hold
focusing
on,
again.
it was near a casino?
Yeah, a small out-of-the-way shop near a casino. Doesn't stand out that much. Very out of the way.
You tell me to take fucking notes.
I did.
Okay.
Once you're inside and you see the sweet little girl that runs the place, you tell her that you want to buy a fruit that's past its expiration date and a wand. You can see you all kind of smirk a little bit when she mentions the rotten fruit.
Raven just ask, like, do you say you want to buy an expired fruit, or do you grab an expired fruit and say you want to buy it?
Either one's fine. As long as you order those two things in that order.
Okay.
Once you've done that, the shopkeeper's going to ask you, just making casual conversation, what your favorite color is. You say yellow. Understand? Yellow.
Okay.
Got all that?
Yeah, I got it.
Do all that right, and she'll let you ride in to meet with Daddy.
I do hope you're not just having a laugh, because this would be pretty funny out of context.
Yeah, I guess that is true. But no. You took care of my family. I'm gonna take care of yours. I'll tell Daddy to expect you. And that his little princess is going to be very upset if he doesn't give you what you want.
Very well. Thank you for that.
Not a problem, Mr. Oglatha. She reaches down next to her, and you can see she had a small little knapsack on the dock next to her, from which she pulls free a pair of sandwiches and holds one out to you. Hungry?
No, I think I'm good right now. I hope you don't. I hope it's no trouble that I decline.
Suit yourself. And she starts to dig into one of them and places the other one back in the bag and picks up her rocks again. Let me know if there's anything else I can help you out with, Sweet Pea.
I think that you've been plenty of help. I'm hopeful that a good relationship can come from all this.
She kind of gives a somewhat distracted nod, but acknowledges it regardless.
Also, did your brother return? Because some of the crew say they didn't see him.
Oh no, he decided he was going to take a little vacay, stay on the island for a little bit.
I see. I just wanted to make sure that everything was alright.
He and I still communicate through letters, and Daddy says that he's keeping an eye on him.
Seems like he keeps an eye on a little bit of everything.
You have no idea.
It was pleasant talking to you.
It was good to finally meet you. You ever see me down this way again, feel free to strike up a convo.
I think we will if we see you again. I will see you around.
Alright, bye-bye.
Wow. I can't remember if it was this party or the other party that had a conversation about doing things unilaterally without consulting the rest of the party.
I mean, to be fair, all you got was information. For the sounds of it, the Dawn's had his eye on the group for a while, with or without your involvement.
Yeah, but I guess, just to be sure, he'll go stop by the lab to let him know that they are arranging to meet this interesting fellow. And maybe check in on anything they learned.
Alright. Does anyone else have anything they want to accomplish during this downtime?
What about
We
the
still want to meet the guy if possible. I don't know how close they are to moving on.
and the staff?
Yes, you're going to sell those staffs. And for your thing of Avon, you can do it right now if you want, but bear in mind, I would assume that would be like a full party affair, so you would need to wait until the party regroups anyway.
Yeah,
But if you want to do it by yourself, then we'll do that. Just
I think he'll wait. He'll wait till the party's all back and then. And who knows? Maybe they'll all decide that maybe they should do that, but we'll see.
sounds good.
But he does want to check in and see what the progress is at this point in time.
Yeah. At which point, I'll say by then they probably just got to the point of they were stuck for a while because the compass wasn't working properly, but eventually managed to figure out a workaround.
They tell him I was pointing towards the island.
I'll say sure.
Did either of you suggest that it might be on the island?
That's what Asari said, but I've told her the same thing I'm telling you. There's no one on this island selfless enough to have something like that and not use it. They'd either be blowing everyone up with it or selling it for a quick buck, and that's the end of that story.
You realize there is a part of the town run by someone literally giving money away.
It's the lottery. It only looks like he's giving money away. You realize how much money they make back on that? It's gold on the coppers.
So you don't see anyone else getting money away. And I
No
might
one else
have
has
been
got
able
money to give but us.
I might. And plus, I have possibly found a way to arrange a meeting with that person if it would benefit us.
Well, That might actually come in handy, but be careful. The Dawn's not somebody you mess with.
Well, we may have unintentionally done him a favor. Apparently his son decided to come on our last little adventure. And the fact that he's still alive, at least the daughter seems to consider it a favor.
Francesca?
Yeah.
Shit.
Talked with her.
You can see her, she kind of visibly grabs her chest and swallows, but after a moment of thought, yeah, this is good, this is good. She's happy, that means her dad's happy. And if her dad's happy, that means we're not dead.
Yes, he certainly seems to be a man of means. I figured I'd wait till the others have come back and then we could maybe try to ingratiate ourselves to him.
Keep that in mind. Thanks, Vaben. I'll let you know if we when we have something.
I'm gonna go. I guess since I'm waiting for the party, I'm gonna go have a little talk with the. Or not talk. The look around the tavern to make sure no one's causing any trouble.
Alright. Stay out of trouble.
That is entirely up to the other people on this island.
Yeah, fair point. Make sure you don't start the trouble?
I will certainly finish it.
She gives you a smile, seeming to accept that as satisfactory.
Besides, we've been staying there. That's where... I don't know, it just seems nice staying in a place that I know the person who owns it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And I don't think he's been charging us, right?
As far as I know.
Nope.
Graylog.
The party gets to stay there for free.
And it helps that he hasn't been charging us.
Yeah, I'd sure hope not. Don't give him any ideas, though.
It's getting better about that.
Yeah, I did also get to see that Dawn's side of town. It's actually rather impressive.
Yeah, the west side? Congratulations. They don't even usually let people on that side of town.
Well, all I had to do was tell them I wasn't there to kill their boss.
If it was that easy, the thieves would have done it already. Francesca wasn't kidding. The family must really like us. But like you, at least.
Yeah, it's really because when the guard stopped us, I just told them we were going for a walk. And they just led us on through.
Well, keep an eye out and be safe. Safe as you can be, anyway. We should have something soon. Now that we've figured out how to get past the first hurdle, last part is just narrowing it down.
Very well. Kevin, it is odd. Didn't the Boomergangers say they weren't going to pursue the treasures anymore?
She gives a bit of a shrug and a sigh. Beats the heck out of me. But, unfortunately, they're probably our best shot at getting this next one. The compass is busted if I try to track it down in the present. My guess is that it's probably sealed away in another dimension, and the Boomergangers are the only one who know how to get it out. With the compass not working, I have no idea where we would even start.
I'm not entirely convinced. Was it just being random in where it said it was, or was it pointing consistently to here?
Yeah, it pointed to here every time, but...
You see, that doesn't seem like broken. That seems like it's saying
Yeah,
it is here.
It was very insistent, and I still do genuinely think it might be still here. I just can't think where.
If you would think if it was broken, it would be pointing in random directions every time you asked.
As far as I'm concerned, if a compass is suggesting something impossible, then that's as good as broken to me.
Well, you should know above all anything that nothing is impossible. Just
Yes.
slightly improbable.
Didn't people say it was we literally just came back from an island that people said everyone dies who goes there. And now there's apparently people living on it.
And have you remind me, we're literally about to, open doors that were supposed to also be impossible to open. I don't think impossibility is something that we need to be ruling out in this game.
I think impossibility is merely a matter of perspective.
Yes, I actually agree.
Well, then you guys take the compass and go hunting, because I'm not going to carry one of our most valuable treasures out in the open in one of the most hostile places in the world, hoping that nobody pickpockets it off of us and our only chance of finding these things, on the off chance that for some reason there is one pirate among hundreds who's decided that he's going to have one of the most powerful items in the world and not use it for himself at all.
Who
I
says
mean,
a
the
pirate has
Guardians,
it?
I mean...
Yeah,
We don't know who has it. There's countless people here.
I'm
Who
gonna
could
pick,
they may not even realize what they have.
I'm gonna pick up the compass and just kind of look at Ivaben. Where are all the others?
I have no idea.
They went out to Suicide Hollow. Paul's, well, I guess it's Alfred now. Said he had some personal
me?
business.
I kind of frown at that and look over to Vaben. Think you can tolerate me long enough to see if this thing is actually broken?
Hold on, who is Alfred?
Oh, you didn't hear? The suit guy made his way back here a few days ago, but he had to see that back alley wizard that the twins visit to get a ceremony done. Changed his name. Apparently he's trying to lift that pirate curse off the island, and the only way to do that is if he has the right name, so she claps her hands and snaps her fingers. In the eyes of the gods, he's as good as the name.
I'm not really too surprised. He did not seem happy that it was still around, so I'm glad that he actually did something about it.
Yeah, he does have a talent for sticking in his nose and things, as
So-
they say.
Honestly, sometimes it's better to put your nose into things, and I'm glad that he did. Now, back to my question, Ivaben. Are you coming?
Well, might as well see if we can't get an idea where it is. So you can only ask it one question per day or something, right?
Well, I mean, it points in the direction of where we asked it last. So, do we have a question today on it?
Yes, it has not been used yet today. Avaven
Okay.
came in while you and Anna were setting up.
So I'll look to Avaben while I have it in my hand. I mean, I can ask it now.
Ask away.
Alright, I'm going to ask it, where is the next item?
Ask it where the next key is.
Yeah, where the next key is to open the doors. That's how I normally phrase it.
Mhm. The needle of the compass spins and points to the west side.
I guess
The
we're
guy
going...
who's giving out money to people.
I'm telling you, it's just a lottery. It's not giving money away. It just looks like that to the people who win. As the people
Alright.
who lose, how they feel about it.
Alright, don't get your leaves in a rustle. Let's go find out.
Well, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna be back here doing actual science.
Oh, fuck off. This is a type of science.
Maybe it's gonna look to Ollie and be like, "Hey, you're better at this. You could tell her where she could put her science."
Ollie actually kind of frowns, and she does smile at the joke, but seems like she's kind of distracted.
Is something the matter?
Not, it's. Look, you guys are the experts, but I mean, you have to admit it is kind of a long shot. I mean, that gun of yours, that was what, key number 2, 3? And you said it can instantly kill anyone? That's a lot of power. You really think there's someone in this town that can be trusted with something like that and not use it?
I mean, to be fair, they may also not fully realize what they have.
But if they have it, didn't that merchant guy, Klavak, he said that the people who gave it to him gave it to him personally. Doesn't
You mean
seem
the
right.
gods?
Yeah, I don't know, it just... I'll trust you guys on
Besides,
this,
it could
but...
be.
I mean, a long shot is a long shot at this point. I mean, it's better than trying to guess where we're going next. She kind of like shoots a look at Anna.
I'm not guessing! We know it's going to be moving!
We know it's going to be moving, but you're guessing where.
I was about to narrow it down whenever you guys decided to go chasing fairy
You
tales!
can only narrow down only so much.
Okay,
There's only so much mathematics you can do.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Basically, like, look.
I think I take the giant.
We're also got to consider the fact that the person may not be someone from here. They could have just come here. You did say the compass claims it's going to move again. We don't know that Boomergangers are the ones to do that. Anybody could move the item if they have it. It could be that the person is only here temporarily.
I guess you got a point.
There are a million different ways that it could be here.
Exactly. That's my point
And
as well.
up to this point, the compass has never lied to us, has it?
Well, it's not the matter of it lying to us, either. Then it's a matter of,
But
like you
it
said,
doesn't matter. It's never. Has it been wrong before?
I guess you got a point, but... seriously, be careful. I've seen what they do to people over there when you got something they want. They will beat you down and rip that compass out of your bleeding hands. And we cannot afford to lose it.
Sorry, just like clings onto it tighter. Like you
We
try.
are literally holding items of the gods and are facing off against people with God knows what. I can't imagine any random thief or bandit on this island could be any danger to us at this point.
You're assuming that... well, you're putting a lot of faith that they don't realize that they've got something just as strong.
Mm.
But if they were going to use it, they would have used it, right?
That's my thinking.
So-
Considering the fact it has not been used yet indicates either they don't have it, then it's all just a one-day setback, or they have it and they're not going to use it unless we force their hand, which
Or they have it and they don't know what to do.
which would fall under the same category of they have it and won't use it.
Indeed.
Well, good luck.
It's like
In the
at
meantime-
worst, the way I see it, at worst, all this does is set us back one day.
I'm not saying don't go, I'm just... be careful. I don't trust the people on this island. None of them.
Well, we don't have to trust
hardly
them
at
to
all either.
investigate. Yeah, we don't have to trust them. We just have to investigate.
Don't worry, if a thief grabs that place to run off with that compass, they'll have an arrow in their head before they even know what happens. Be damned who they work for.
You can see Anna looks nervously around at her kind of suddenly seeming very small and unassuming little shack of a laboratory. Be careful.
Of course.
Alright, let's... Do you two wish to come along? Looking at Ollie and Yule.
Someone's got to keep you out of trouble. And I don't know if I trust either of you to negotiate with, well...
No,
Yeah.
there's nothing else. I know how to meet the guy.
I mean, I know how to be nice.
Let us go see where this compass leads. Maybe just to be safe, don't hold it out in the open to be snatched
Oh,
from
no,
your
no, 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 no,
hands.
no, no, no. I'm just like, I'm gonna like keep it in my pocket and only take it out like to see if it like changed course.
Maybe not in your front pocket. Or here, let me hold it. I'm very
No.
perceptive.
No, 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 no. You are not holding this artifact.
I'm literally holding one already.
Yeah, but this is delicate.
What? What? Is it because I'm from the forest? You think I can't handle things carefully?
No,
You
I
think I'm
never.
going to just take it and start beating it on a rock? Ooh, shiny object on rock.
Well, I mean, if you were Greylog, maybe.
Trust me, I'm not going to break it.
She like she's like holding it in her hand like very tightly until she just like heaves like the biggest sigh you've ever heard in your entire life.
Zaboon has like 22 passive perception.
Yeah, no. I realize that, but sorry, she's just being a stubborn bitch.
Yeah.
But before she finally opens her hand and just gives it to you. Fine.
And maybe we'll keep hold of it and check it every so often.
Just don't break it, please.
Oh my goodness. Why do you think I'm going to break it? And I'm gonna roll performance to fake a fall.
This would be a good time in that one. Roll performance.
Yeah.
That would
Fake-
be hilarious.
Take a fall.
I'm not gonna
Immediately.
break it. Proceeds to break it.
Yeah, immediately.
Oh,
breaks it.
luckily I did not nat one, a 14.
Alright. You give a decently convincing fake drop before grabbing it with your offhand.
Baby just smiles at her.
Rolls her eyes. Don't act cute. Let's go.
Alright. Now, as mentioned, the compass can be consulted once a day. So with that in mind, do you guys want to just basically keep narrowing it down until you have a good idea of where on the island it supposedly is?
Yeah.
We're just gonna see where it's pointing and just
Yeah,
kind
just
of
see where it points and see where it leads us.
Alright. Another day passes, and this time, waiting on the west side preemptively, you consult the compass once more, Ababen this time posing the question. And it points in the direction of one of the west side casinos.
Does it seem like it's pointing to something near the casino?
As you kind of cautiously position your hand, yes, there's a small kind of...
It's a small shop, isn't it?
Indeed. There's a small kind of rundown store next to the casino.
He
nestled
does
in
have
that
it.
alley.
He has
Oh
it.
god.
This is where his daughter told me to go if you want to see him. He has it.
I mean,
The Dawn has it.
of course he does. Of course he does. Of course he does.
Alright, let's go ahead and head back, tell
Yeah.
Anna. And then we need to try to get our group together to have our little meeting.
Yeah. At this point, we don't even know what it is exactly he has. We don't even know what we're going in for this time.
Exactly. But
like-
if the past stories are true, and it seems like this guy does have connections, I mean, the
I'm not-
heads of pirates meet with him.
I mean,
It
I'm
may
not.
be possible he was given the item.
I mean, it's not a terrible idea, but I mean, he's also very powerful. So,
Well,
I
just
would
don't piss him off.
excuse me, I'm not the only one.
I think it'd probably be for the best if both of you kept your mouth shut. Let the guy in the suit do the talking.
Look, I'm sure with this type it'll be, and we may have to do something for him to get it, get his favor and all that, and then he might be willing to give it to us.
Well, didn't you
might
say
be-
that we already did him a favor?
It's possible. He may consider us keeping his son staying alive while under our charge may be considered a favor, but do keep in mind this is an item of the gods. If he knows its value, he's probably going to want quite a bit for it. But we can discuss that whenever we meet with him. Let's head
Yeah,
back.
I was gonna say, let's get out of the streets.
Let's head back, talk to Anna, and we'll see about gathering our group back up for our little meeting. I might even have you on his political knowledge write a speech for me.
Never written a speech for someone like that before. I'll get drafting.
Well, I mean, speech or like just things to say, you know.
I thought these kind of people typically only spoke in the language of broken fingers.
Oh.
I mean, it could be arranged, but I mean,
Yeah, let's not. Let's just head back.
Alright. Alfred and Greylog. The word is sent out. However, it's not exactly the word you were expecting. The letters you get from Anna are frantic and
Oh,
frustrated.
I want to know what Anna's reaction was whenever we told her we found where it is.
I mean, she basically says the same thing she was telling Asari while they were arguing about it. She thinks you're wrong. She thinks the compass is just broken and that you need to rely on where it's going to be rather than where the compass says it is.
He was like, you mean to tell me, in all your little scientific knowledge, that there is a complete and total coincidence that it points to the exact place I was told by this guy's daughter where you go to see him?
Yeah, pretty much.
now don't stop that. You know that coincidences don't exist.
This island is made up of a crap ton of volcanic glass. There could be any number of magnetic anomalies interfering with it.
Is a magic compass. It doesn't work off of magnets.
Wow. Actually, had a decent point that stumped the science person.
It doesn't work like a normal compass does. It's magic. You can't deceive magic with volcanic glass. You can do it, but it's gonna take a lot more than just a random thing like volcanic glass.
It would have to be like magic volcano glass.
Like, I don't know, maybe a strong source of mana could mess with it, unless you think the island has that?
There's also something else we're not considering. You may disagree with me, but how do we know this guy's not involved with the Boomergangers?
I mean, so what if he is? I mean, the Boomer game, they're gonna come for us one way or another, so...
Yes, if he is with the
So what?
Boomerangers, then we'll just be taking it from them anyways.
Yeah, I mean, so what?
But they told us to our faces that they want nothing more than to get us all in one spot where they can make a final grab for it. We're banking a lot that we're going to succeed on that. And even if we do, who's to say they're even going to bring the keys with them when they show up? We could end up taking casualties, losing some of the keys, and even if we manage to get this one, we won't have any leads on the next ones.
And we're keeping the compass here. We know where to go now.
Yes, the compass can stay with, what's their name? Blue Moon? I believe they promised to protect it, so we know that they won't just hand it over, hopefully.
Anna kind of snorts, but...
If
Look, I've trusted
only-
you this far.
I just have this feeling, like, it just seems like if he was with the Boomerangers, we would have found out by now. And even if he is, it doesn't really matter that much. I think we could at the very least fight our way out of a trap and find better ground. We may not necessarily be able to defeat all of them, but we can certainly... I think we could at at the very least, get our way out of the situation and onto more favorable ground.
I'll trust you. But just to be safe, I'm gonna work on a backup plan.
I would
I
have
don't
it
trust
no
them
other
on
way.
this island. They're not good people. None of them are. It's a bad island of bad people that do bad things.
Well, I remember people said the
sorry,
same
we'll
thing
look
about
over.
those.
Oh, sorry, you go first.
I remember people said the same thing about the pirates on London, but most of them, if you just didn't step on their toes, were pretty easy to deal with.
Yeah, and that was one of the few keys we don't have to show for our efforts.
Yeah, it's because of... but not because of the pirates.
I just don't think it's coincidence that so far every time we've tried trusting people like this, it blows up in our faces.
Well, I say it's worth the shot. Besides,
Alright.
as it stands, the only key we'd be risking is the pistol. They
Alright.
won't have all of them, and if nothing, and honestly, a stalemate of the keys benefits us. If they can't open it, then... I mean, we're not even 100% certain if we're opening it anymore. So, the way I see it, if we lose one item but keep the others out of their hands, then just, I think the stalemate benefits us.
You're right. She runs a hand through her petals and sighs. God. You both recall that, much like before Suicide Hollow, she was sort of spooked but enthusiastic to study the island. The Ark, Yav, going to those places she always treated as a curious, scholarly expedition, but you're noticing the same inklings you saw whenever the key pointed to London. She, whatever her issue is with non-law abiders, clearly runs deep. And Don Campan has her more terrified than literally going to another dimension, seems to have.
Kind of even
As someone who lived
insight.
here. Roll insight.
Just to give her some comfort, sorry, we'll go over to her and just, give her a little hug. It's gonna be alright. I mean, we survived London and we survived Suicide Hollow, and
It's not you I'm worried about. Yes, I know you're going to be fine. You can fight your way out of anything. I have a house here. The professor's old and he can't defend himself. If they can't get through you, they're gonna come after us. That's always what happens. They don't
So I
get
rolled a
to you
14
by
on
hurting you.
insight.
You can't glean anything from her that you couldn't glean just from what she's saying.
Okay.
Sure, they can take you into an alley and beat you up. That works for some people, but for people like us, they get to you through the people you love, the people you care about, the people who can't fight back like you can.
This seems rather specific.
yeah, sorry, kind of looks at her intensely. If they touch a single petal on your head, I'll have theirs.
But that's not gonna bring me much comfort in the grave, is it?
There's got to be a way we can protect you and the professor.
Well, I can. Well, they were gonna hit us for something as soon as we were there. They would have to already have it in the works. I can have a look around and make sure there's no one been surveilling us. And if something goes wrong at the meeting, then maybe you and the professor should head to the breaker. Be ready to leave at a moment's notice. It will only have to be until we can deal with the situation. Then you can, once it's dealt with, however it's dealt with, we'll find some way to be able to let you come back home.
And if you can't, at least you can come home with me for the time being. You and the professor are always welcome in my home.
Though I would prefer you could stay in your own home. I can understand the concern of the actions of others forcing you to leave your home.
Fine. I'll send out a letter. I'll let the others know. Good luck. With whatever you decide to do.
I'll stay here with you. Vaben, do you mind taking a look and seeing if you can spot anyone in town? Maybe I need...
I mean, if you want, I could go talk to them. I already talked to his daughter.
Oh no, I thought we should go together. Actually. What I mean is, you know, you sort of like do the blood stuff.
I can't understand what they're saying.
Yeah, you were cutting out a little bit there.
Hello?
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 Better.
Sorry. So she was just like, basically was like, oh, like, maybe you can use your tracking skills to see if, like, they're, trying to, like, ambush us or some shit.
I can maybe have a look around. Like I said, I'll have a look around here to make sure there haven't been stationing people watching us. If they are with them, so I imagine they'd be keeping a close eye on us, ready to make some kind of move.
I agree. And I can at least stay here and, help with whatever and, you know, protect you if need be. At least until, what is it, Alfred? Whatever? And Greg.
You don't want to leave Tortage. You might even be able to go to Greylog's Tavern. I believe he has some muscle.
Anna just quietly pulls out some parchment and begins to draft her letters.
What? I'm gonna make her some tea.
Some strong tea.
Yeah, just some strong tea. We're British. This is what we do when we're stressed.
Sorry, the next week or so is incredibly awkward. Anna talks to you very rarely, and while she insists she's still conducting her own research for a backup plan, she no longer lets you be privy to her notes.
I'm not gonna push anything, but just like kind of like idly, just like, you know, help stuff. Is there a reason you're not letting me look at your notes right now?
Why? What do I got that you need?
I mean, we've always brainstormed together. What are you trying to hide?
I'm not hiding anything.
Can I answer that?
Roll insight.
Also, has Raven found any evidence of surveillance around here?
Roll investigation.
I started to roll my dice, and now I dropped. Hang on.
I rolled a 12.
Noted.
Wish I had inspiration.
These dice are so good that you gave me, Austin. Natural 20.
She seems like she's still understandably pretty frustrated about the previous conversation. Doesn't exactly feel like her concerns were directly addressed. But you don't get the impression that she's hiding anything. She certainly seems jumpy, but she's constantly drinking coffee, even more so these days. So you imagine it's just caffeine.
Yeah. I'll just like sit her down and just. What is it that you're afraid of losing? That they're going to take away from you?
I don't know, just never thought bleeding out in a back alley was how I was gonna die, you know?
I won't let it happen.
Yeah.
It's not that your feelings are invalid. There's nothing else I can do right now except for try to comfort you. And shutting me out isn't going to help that.
She just kind of gives a non-committal hum, continuing to scribble on parchment.
Kind of like give her a little side hug. I'll make more coffee, but just... I'm here if you need to talk. That's what best friends are for. I'll just kind of leave her to it.
Picking up where we left off. Alfred and Greylog. The letters you receive are frustrated and hurried. But shockingly for Anna, very brief and curt. They found the key. Get back here.
Well, pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Well, guess we should get back.
What do you think, Alfred?
Oh. I guess we should get back then.
Well, he will open a portal.
Alright.
Doctor Strange this shit.
Yeah. Vaben, as you monitor the surroundings of the central territory that your party tends to frequent, you do not notice any particularly unusual activity from any of the gangs, really. It just kind of seems like business as usual for the most part. Which you're grateful for. You just hope that the silence is not a prelude to something worse. Anna's warnings ringing in your ear. Gangs do not punish you. They punish those you care about, who cannot defend themselves as readily. Anna silently fumes and decides to take her safety into her own hands. And sorry, as you work in a silent lab, Avaben, your patrols are interrupted after about roughly a month of downtime, investigating and searching, not spending as much time relaxing as you would have hoped. A portal opens in a tree, and your remaining party members step through. The next hunt, ready to begin. You don't know what the next key is, and you're working off of your hunch that the Don currently has it in his possession. Whether he even realizes of what it is he has, and what he would do with it if he did. That is where we're going to end tonight's session, and
20
officially
minutes
begin.
already.
Because it's an interlude.
It's not that short. Like, it's almost been 3 hours.
And we officially begin Chapter 6 of Under Locks and Keys, On the Railroad.
Very interesting. And I'm guessing he didn't get any response, though, to his trying to get rid of his greed.
Not a, like, verbal or innate one, but you know, one may be coming. Your efforts are acknowledged, we'll put it that way.
That's good enough for me.
Check out our website at officiald5hub.info. Down for maintenance at the moment, but soon to be resurrected from the grave like a filthy necromancer on the outs with her college roommate. Check out our link in chat to join our official D5 Discord server if you want to hang out with us directly. Support our episodes posted on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, and the iHeart Podcast Network, wherever you happen to get them from. For our audio listeners, catch us live on Mondays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time on twitch.tv/Odd Tornado Productions and the Odd Tornado Productions YouTube channel to catch up on what you may have missed. Check out Odd Tornado Productions official on Tumblr to find links to our other works, including our freshly renamed Paladins Twitch channel at twitch.tv/AustinFreak123. And if you enjoy what we do, please support us on Patreon, that link to be posted as well, on Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/Odd Tornado Productions, and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/TornadoOdd. The TNO are in fact capitalized. And if you want to see more of this party, plus or minus a few, tune in tomorrow, Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time, for our Tuesday game of Black Ink and Blue Blood, featuring a party of politicians and nobles trying to unravel political conspiracy if they can just stop stabbing each other in the back long enough.
Hey, we haven't in a while.
Yet.
Thanks, everyone at the table, so much for playing. Thanks, everyone at home, so much for watching. And we'll see you all next week.